Buenos Day. Welcome to the June 12, 2025 meeting of the Guam Hybrid Land Use Commission. I would like to go ahead and call this meeting to order. And we'll begin by taking attendance, including our newly appointed commissioner of the Guam Land Use Commission, Mr. Gerald Yingling. Our mayors representing the hybrid component, Mayor Benavente. Thank you. Mayor Voss. Mayor Lizano. Mayor Rivera. Thank you very much. Commissioner Liou. Executive Secretary Director Borman. Thank you. Legal Counsel Attorney Miller.
Present.
Thank you. Chief Planner.
Present.
And your planning staff. We do have a quorum. I just want to remind everyone that today's meeting is being live streamed on the YouTube at Guam Department of Land Management channel. The next order of business is the approval of minutes. For approval today are the Guam Hybrid Land Use Commission regular meeting minutes for January 23rd, 2025. The draft was emailed in advance for review to respective commissioners. At this time, I will go ahead and entertain a motion for approval. Motion was made. Okay, motion that was made by Commissioner Liou, seconded by Commissioner Yingling. Any discussion on the motion for the minutes? There being none, all in favor of approving the minutes of January 23rd, 2025, please signify by saying aye, raising your right hand. It is unanimous. The minutes are approved. There are no old or unfinished business under item 3. We shall proceed with item number 4. New business, there is none as well. So we shall proceed to item number 5, administrative and miscellaneous matters. The two items on our agenda are an integrated project, and the commission will review both applications simultaneously. However, two separate motions will be entertained for action. Under conditional use extension of time, item A, application number H2018-47A-2. The applicants, Cheng T, Chien and Joanne Y.C, Liou, represented by FC Benavente planners, request a second extension of time pursuant to Section 5 of Executive Order 96-26 for a previously approved conditional use to continue the development of a mixed-use multifamily dwelling complex in a commercial zone on Lot 5029-5-1 and Lot 5029-5-2 in the Municipality of Dededo. The case planner is Chief Planner Celine Cruz. And so the second item, and we shall just acknowledge under zone variance item B, extension of time, application number H2018-47B-2. The applicants, Cheng T, Chien and Joanne Y.C, Liou, represented by FC Benavente planners, request a second extension of time pursuant to Section 5 of Executive Order 96-26 for a previously approved zone variance for height to continue the development of the mixed-use multifamily dwelling complex on Lot 5029-5-1 and Lot 5029-5-2 in the Municipality of Dededo. Case planner for this as well as Chief Planner Cruz. And so I'd like to welcome the applicants represented to the table. And for the record, please state your name and you may proceed with your presentation.
Madam Chairman and members of the Commission, my name is Cheng T, representing this application on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Chien and Liou. Congratulations, Mr. Yingling. Thank you. On behalf of the owners, we are requesting for a time extension so that we can proceed with their development. The slide up there shows the two lot numbers, 5029-5-1 and 5029-5-2, located in Dededo. And the section that requires us to come back is on the first page of the notice of action that says the applicant must apply for and receive a building or building permit for the approved project within 1 year, the date of the recordation. And for reasons we came back and asked for an extension. The permit was still not acquired at that time for reasons listed at that time. So we are now back for our second extension request, and for pretty much the same reasons, and I'll get into that as soon as I pick the site. Just let me take you, for those of you who are new to this working out. Okay, this is, I'm sorry. Not good. The two properties are located right off Route 3. Both of them are frontage on Route 3. Right next door is GRMC. And so that's where we're located. Down from the intersection of Route 3 and Route 1. There are two buildings, two 7-story buildings on each portion of the property. So we can go back to that. So in the middle of each lot, in the dash lines would be 2-story building. 2 7-story buildings. Say again? 14, I'm sorry. Okay. These are the buildings. These are our spectrum of the two buildings. When we make the presentation for this is just another picture. Again, this is just to take you to the site, and this is a front view. The buildings are, the first 2 floors are mixed. We call it a mixed-use building. For the first 2 floors are a combination of commercial and service facilities for the tenants of the building. This is a commercial zone, by the way. And this is the side view. I'm not getting into too much detail on the actual structure because a full review of this was done a couple of years ago, and so we're here to do the extension request. And the reasons why we're applying for this extension again is pretty much the inflation costs of construction of materials, equipment, and labor are way higher than what was anticipated when the building was first designed back in 2019. And of course, we ran into COVID and blockchain progresses were disrupted. So the original estimate for the project had to be redone. The project owner is also a structural engineer, and part of his research into making the building doable was actually comparing structural designs. So he looked into maybe concrete shear walls versus steel moment frames. I don't know what those are. Those are engineering terms, but they did look into ways to continue the building, but it required a redesign. Still the same envelope, but a redesign, which takes time, which took up a lot of time. Of course, we mentioned the COVID. The other thing that caused delay was the Department of Agriculture had required an environmental baseline survey to be conducted. We have since completed that, and the Department of Agriculture has approved the baseline survey. The clearing and grading and the drawings are all complete at this time. And the percolation testing and the soil investigations, those are all complete. And we were, the last line there is a new and unanticipated permit clearance requirement was attached by Guam EPA, which required approval from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife for its snail study. That was not part of the GHLUC conditions, and this was not a part of the conditions that were listed when we were going through the process. I just want to show, I think I have another slide here. I'm sorry it can't be clear, but this is the permit that we thought we could get approved within the first year extension that you granted. It got approved by land management right there, it got approved by Guam agriculture, it got approved by Parks and Rec. When we went to EPA, we said we needed to go for approval by the, you see the only signature there not. We got land management, Parks and Rec, agriculture, land, UGN, food board, public works, support didn't sign off yet. EPA told us we need to go talk to Fish and Wildlife. Fish and Wildlife is very difficult to get. They wanted to go face to face, they just referred us to a series of CFRs. So, you know, we'll do what's required of us, right? It's just that the clock was ticking. So in the meantime, the second 1 year, the first 1 year extension ran out. So that's right. The combination of redesigning the building, combination of reworking the financing, because the building was put together before COVID. Combination of the one agriculture study, which was required by the GHLUC. All those contributed to the delay. I think I might overseen that, but that's why we're here and wait for the GHLUC to please allow us to continue the project, or we need to expect an extension. And by the way, we recently got notice that the U.S. Fish and Wildlife has approved this project through a default process. They don't, there's a thing about it, they don't act within 45 days. So when we do have that notice, we can give that to the case planner. So it looks like we've overcome that, and we don't have to do that snail stuff. Oh, no snails. Somehow I was stuck in it. That's my presentation.
Ms. Mossy, Mr. Benavente, thank you very much. I would like to turn it over now to my fellow commissioners to see if you have any questions for the applicant's representative at this time.
Voice.
Just
I think my voice is loud enough.
okay. Okay. Yes, Commissioner Dean.
When you said they're going to redesign, one of the questions I have, and I know the expenses have risen greatly. Have they scaled the project down a bit?
No. It's mostly the Mr. Chien is a structural engineer and he's civil engineer. So he's working on the how to make the building stand. So the density is the same. The interior is the same, but it's just the structure. Steel frame, shear beams. So he was checking all that. He's done now. I don't know what it is, but that was one of the things that caused it to initially go down, because when the price rose, we kind of like value engineer it and see if there was a better way that we can make this building come up other than the original way. The original way is just expensive.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, so always my question is, are the dwellings intended to satisfy the need for more affordable housing on island?
My usual response is family on the financing and how the numbers work out for the developer owner. That's I don't know.
Depends. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
on
The
the
second,
market.
yeah, thank you. The second question has to do with, had the timeline with regard to the default had not been, had the default not been realized and you still had to proceed with the snail study, were there any efforts to determine whether or not there are consultants on island to conduct such a study?
No. we really were trying to meet with Fish and Wildlife. And it was just so hard to reach. They gave us, like I said, references to here's what you can do. We were aware that there was a default condition. You know, the agency cannot hold a project forever. You gotta resolve it, otherwise we're just gonna go ahead. We actually, Madam Chair, we kept kind of going back and forth. Why do we need this? So we did that for quite a while. Why do we need this? And then it took them a long time to not answer. Then we do a follow-up question. We need to find out, you know, we're not inside the base. Usually Fish and Wildlife is like automatic. If you're inside, if you're a military project, you're Fish and Wildlife become the signatory for the permit. This is outside of this. Unless there was, we already did the environmental baseline survey, and Guam Agriculture approved it. There's no snails. For those of you that are familiar with the property, this is right off of Route 3. There are hardly any trees. A lot of it is nifty grass. So anyway, our findings did not find anything close to snails, and we were just kind of like butting against.
Thank you very much for that information. It's very helpful. And I now turn it over to our chief planner, Liou, for your report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll be reading the combined commission brief dated June 3rd, 2025. On December 9th, 2021, the commission approved the applicant's conditional use application for a multifamily use in a commercial zone and a zone variance for height and story to construct two 154 feet high, 14-story buildings within the proposed mixed-use multifamily dwellings complex. On August 24, 2023, the first extension request for both the conditional use and zone variance was approved by the commission. The applicant submits its second request with reasons provided for an extension of time to allow them to continue with their ongoing efforts to obtain the appropriate permits for the construction of the approved development. Lastly, on to recommendation. It is our position that the applicant's continuing coordination with the permitting agencies complying to the conditions imposed have been and continues to work with the appropriate government entities in adhering to said agencies' requirements. In line with the above, we recommend a favorable commission review of the request with the following conditions: that the applicant continues compliance to the conditions as specified on the conditional use approval and the zone variance approval notice of action dated December 20th, 2021. And this concludes the commission brief.
Thank you very much. I now turn it back to my colleagues to see if you have any questions for our staff. I don't have any questions. Thank you very much. I now open it up to the public to see if there are any comments or questions to be made regarding the applications. I don't see any movement, so I shall go ahead and close this part of public comment, and we shall proceed back to our commissioners to see if they have further discussion. Otherwise, I will go ahead and entertain a motion for action. As a reminder, we have two applications, and I shall entertain both separately as two separate motions.
I'll make a motion to approve the extension of time. With the conditions that on the report as far as their recommendations are concerned.
Okay. Thank you very much, Commissioner Mayor Benavente, for that motion. Thank you, Commissioner Yingling, for that second. Any discussion on, and this is for which application?
This is for the application number H2018-47A-2.
Okay, thank you very much. Motion was made and seconded for application number H2018-47A-2. Are there any discussion on this motion? There being none, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to approve the application. All in favor of approving it, please signify by saying aye and raising your right Pam?
Aye.
It is unanimous. The motion is passed, the application approved. I will go ahead and entertain a motion for application number H2018-47B-2. There a motion on this application.
Motion.
Okay. So a motion, made by Mayor Benavente, seconded by Mayor Rivera. Any discussion on this? Oh, yes, Chief Planner.
Can I ask that the motion be amended to include the conditions?
Yes, yes, same with the first application, just as long as they follow the recommendations as far as the planning is concerned.
Thank you very much. Yes, amendment noted, motion on the floor with the amendment. Any discussion on this? No discussion. All in favor of approving the motion to approve application number H2018-47B-2, please signify by saying aye and raising your right hand.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the motion, it is unanimous. Motion carries, application approved. Susan Moss and Mr. Benavente, good luck with this project.
Thank you. And also welcome, Mayor Benavente and Mayor Don. Thank you for the first time.
Yes.
All the newbies.
We're learning, we're learning. Every day is a learning day.
Right, okay. So, there is no further business for the Guam Hybrid Land Use Commission. I will go ahead and entertain a motion for adjournment. Move to adjourn.
Second.
Excuse Mossy, Mayor Rivera, seconded by Mayor Benavente. All in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye, raising your right hand.
Aye.
It is unanimous. This, meeting is adjourned. I have, 1:58 on the clock. Thank you very much. Well done. We will now take a 5-minute recess before we proceed with the regular business of the moment.
Great chair.
Guam Land Use Commission meeting, June 12, 2025. I'd like to go ahead and call the meeting to order. The time currently is 2:05. And we will begin by calling Commissioner Gerald Yingling.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Leilani Morris. Thank you. Executive Secretary, Mr. Borja.
Here.
Thank you. Legal Counsel Attorney Miller.
Here.
Deputy Director Tiskin. President. Yes, Chief Planner Cruz and staff.
Present.
Thank you very much. We do have a quorum. I'd like to remind everyone that today's meeting is being live streamed on YouTube at Guam Department of Land Management's channel. Second item on our agenda is the approval of minutes. For approval today's GHLUC regular meeting minutes of Thursday, April 10th, 2025. The members have been provided with the draft in advance for review. And I'd like to entertain a motion for approval at this time.
I would make a motion to approve the minutes from the Thursday, April 10th, 2025 meeting.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Flores, do I hear a second?
Yes, I'll second the
Thank you, Commissioner Yingling. Any discussion on the minutes? Okay, there being none, all in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye and raising your right hand. Aye, thank you. It is unanimous that the minutes of April 10th, 2025 are approved. Item 3, old or unfinished business, there are none. Item 4, new business, under zone change application. We have item A, application number 2024-23. The applicant, Tech Development LLC, represented by Teaching Engineers, PC, requests a zone change from R2 multiple dwelling zone to M1 light industrial zone for a proposed photovoltaic facility on lot 10184-2 and lot 10184-3 in the Municipality of Dededo. Case planner is Mr. Frank Titino. I'd like to welcome the applicant's representative to the table, and for the record, please state your name.
Good evening, Madam Chair. My name is Marvin Aguilar. My name is Marvin Aguilar. I am planner for designated land use planner for DG Engineers, representing Tech Development and subsidiary of Tech International.
Please proceed, Mr. Aguilar.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, and as well, Mr. Yang, welcome to the GHLUC.
Thank you.
So we're submitting this application to rezone lot 10182 and lot 10183 in Gukadu, Dededo from R2 to M1. This property, if you can take a look up there on the screen, it's a bird's eye view. You have Gukadu High School. There's an entrance. I think that road is called FAA Road. It's a field there where folks used to play with all the things and whatnot. So, and it takes you that I'm going to be using this red dot as a site signifier of where this property located. So just down this road, you're going to see this. There's a mega little light pink orange rectangle. We're referring that to a super warehouse or a mega warehouse. And then this road kind of bifurcates and leads to the current Tech facility or compound. Getting up closer to where the property is located, again, we have the red dot there. These are the properties. It's lot -2 and lot -3. To the left of that, you can see what was a CPI barracks. Those are actual, housing area that was approved several decades ago, the Guam Land Use Commission. To the north of that, that open area is their staging area. Adjacent to the staging area, you have the Northern District Wastewater Treatment Facility. And then across the street, you have the expanded Northern District Wastewater Treatment Facility. Wiggly Line is actually the road that takes you down to Gießen Beach. So hopefully I can give you an idea of where this property is located. Here is the subdivision map of this property. It's not very clear. Again, we're referring to the red dot. It consists of two lots. One lot is about approximately, it's approximately half an acre, and the other property is about 6 acres. There, so we have a total of 6.73 acres of property that we wish to lease. And so here's our telltale sign. This is the old Air Force Publication Building. This property occupies about 6 acres of the main lot or the larger lot. We had the opportunity to take additional photos of this property because it was clear and gives you a better idea of what, you know, what it was used for in the past. And there we go. So just to the left of the building, you see this kind of like debris that's been piled up on. It doesn't give you a good perception of depth, but right adjusting to that is lot -2. We don't know why it was separated. It was separated, I guess, in the past before the military had taken over the property. And then eventually returned to the original property owners or ancestral landowners. So we're calling it former Air Force Publication Building. I've heard it called several things. I can't find the literature, let alone the, circa 1955, post World War II information. So this is the best we can provide at this point in terms of photos of its past use. With respect to justifying public necessity, convenience, and general welfare, we're stating that by rezoning each parcel to M1, they become compatible to their immediate surroundings and become aligned and right fit with land use opportunities that are actually, up and coming, if not adjacent to it. There are some industrial activities that are ongoing. So we're saying surrounding parcels are M1. Or include industrial use like land use activities. And with that, in that respect, multi-family use is compromised for these two particular lots. They're technically surrounded primarily by the north and by the west of the properties as the M1. And of course, you do have the CPI construction compound. So they do cement batching, they have the barracks, they have staging, laying yards, they do store heavy equipment, all approved by the Guam Land Use Commission at one time or another. So in that respect, R2 use is compromised. So if I may, we're leading to what are our ulterior motives of rezoning these properties, and it's actually two smaller lots compared to a much larger planned unified platform to construct and operate a solar farm. A solar farm that we're projecting will produce about 60 megawatts of power with the ability to hold 30 megawatts battery power, so reserve power that can be sent out to the main grid, or rather to GPA. And right now, the Portec International is in negotiations with the Guam Power Authority. They are trying to take advantage of this public law and to provide Public Law 3546, provide alternative power sources to the island, and be part of that, that service provider. 3546 is really important to note that by the year 2045, Guam, the island of Guam has to become dependent on alternative power. So there's be a wean off from fossil fuel, power generation, and alternative, and we will follow alternative energy sources. The design of I didn't really want to talk too much about this, but the design of the solar farm right now, you can see the hatched areas. they're going to utilize as much space as possible while still maintaining the CPI facilities, which is that open area at the bottom, which is the rectangle spots. We will be adjacent to the wastewater treatment facility. Across the street from there, we recently had lot 101, 88 rezoned to M1 as well from H. And that's going to provide additional spatial support for the solar farm. Another photo. I'm so obsessed with this red dot. Right next door to them, to the south, this is the entrance, the main entrance, or rather to the east, to the Cortec construction compound. Okay. Here's a photo of our, just up the street. It's approximately a tenth of a mile up. This is their mega warehouse. The angle, it makes it seem a lot bigger, but it is actually one of the largest warehouses, single warehouses on this island, next to whatever they have inside the fence. And I think this was constructed by the company Yonex before the properties were transferred over to Port. And they utilize these properties. That concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aguilar. I turn it over to my colleagues to see if you have any questions.
I have no question.
Just one, the only questions I have, you have two, Department of Agriculture and the Environmental Protection Agency had conditions. Are those conditions been met?
If you can,
I need to read it, the whole thing. The agriculture was doing a biodiversity, I believe it's a biodiversity study to make sure that there's no endangered species there.
yes. Okay, yes.
That
Well-
has been conducted or?
Well, that is going to attach to you can't have conditions placed on a zone change. So you're if you don't mind saying, you consider the request based on the merits of the property in relation to land uses surrounding. But in terms of the conditions, those can be applied to the clearing grading permit or the building permit application. So yes, they do have, they have merit and they do follow processes that are required under each different agency, EPA.
So at some point, it'll have to be addressed, I assume.
It will be, yes.
Thank you. I do have a question. The former Air Force publication building, is that going to have any use at all?
No, my understanding at this point, it will be
Demolished.
but we do have to understand, and I really didn't want to throw this out there, but this is a building that was constructed sometime in the early 50s. And so perhaps maybe there's some additional environmental concerns to consider before it's demolished.
Okay. Understand.
Being over the waterlands, that's scary to think about a printing shop. Any military shop over the water.
It was a community, it was a military community spanning all the way to GHLUC. So yeah, they had laundry services, automobile services.
Those were deepest.
Oh, no, I know. Before my time.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Aguilar. I now turn it over to Chief Planner Curtis for you, the report by the planning staff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is the staff report dated June 2nd, 2025. The site is located within the Portec complex, north of the existing Portec temporary workforce housing facility. The lot area is 6.7 acres and is presently zone R2 multifamily dwelling scheme. Lot 101-84-2 is occupied by a two-story concrete structure, which was formerly a military printing shop, and lot 101-84-3 is vacant with its northeastern portion serving as access to the existing Portec TWHF and concrete batching facility. Under the master plan, the lots were designated as residential. Under the community design plan, the lots were undesignated. And previous commission action included the adoption of the Dos Amantes official zoning map, designating the subject properties as R2 in February of 2009. The application was accepted on May 29, 2024, heard by the ARC on July 2nd, 2024, and a public hearing was held on May 21st, 2025. Onto staff analysis. For justification to support public necessity, convenience, and general welfare, the applicant provides the act of changing the zones of the subject parcels aligns with GPA's initiatives, but also with the Guam Energy Office's mandate and mission to promote energy conservation and energy efficiency, to promote deployment of renewable energy technologies, and to provide energy saving solutions to reduce fossil fuel dependency, leading to a sustainable energy future for the island. This request aligns with Guam's initiative to promote an environmentally friendly approach for operational costs of running fossil fuel generators. The end state of the request will allow the operation of the solar farm that in turn will be an expression of both direct and indirect benefits for the people of Guam. Based on the above and our evaluation for public necessity, convenience, and general welfare, the zone change request from R2 to M1 zone is justified. The shift aligns with Guam's energy mandates, enhances land use compatibility, and offers long-term benefits more aligned with the island's strategic needs. In addition, these particular lots are no longer suitable for housing development due to the surrounding industrial activities and public facility expansions. Instead, repurposing the lots for a solar energy project supports Guam's renewable energy goals, economic stability, and environmental sustainability, making the proposed zone change a logical and beneficial land use decision. In our review and analysis of the form and context of this application, in reference to the zoning law, the positive response of the Dededo MPC, Resolution 2024-14, the positive response received from the ARC agencies, we find that the above and the context of the application provides justification that public necessity, convenience, and general welfare support a positive action on the zone change request. Lastly, on to recommendation, planning staff recommends approval, subject to the following condition, that the applicant adheres to the permitting ARC members' conditions and requirements as stipulated on their official position statement. And this concludes the staff report.
Thank you very much, Ms. Bldg. I now turn it back to my colleagues to see if they have any questions or comments. I don't have them. Thank you very much. And now open up the floor for public comment at this time. I don't see any movement. I'll just go ahead and close the second public comment and take it back to our commissioner to see if you have any further comments. Okay, thank you. I now will entertain a motion for action on application number 2024-23.
I'd like to make a motion to approve application number 2024-23 based on the recommendation stated in the June 2nd, 2025 staff report.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Flores. A motion has been made for approval. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Yingling. Any discussion on this motion? If there being none, all in favor of approving the motion to approve application number 2024-23, please signify by saying aye and raising your right hand. Aye, it is unanimous. The application is approved. Thank you very much, Mr. Aguilar.
Welcome.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is the zone variance application under item B, number 2022-37. The applicants, Prasaran and Cassandra Regis Sasha, represented by Felix Benavente, request a zone variance for setback for an existing residential structure with a front yard setback of 13.5 feet, a left side yard setback of 4 feet, and a rear yard setback of 3.5 feet on lot 16, block 3, tract 178, in the municipality of Dededo in an R1 one-family dwelling zone. The case planner, Sunny Bldg. I welcome the applicant's representative to the table. For the record, please state your name.
My name is Felix Benavente, representing Saran and Senator.
Thank you.
I have the monitor showing. I can summarize the presentation, the application to the that's me. The original staff was hired by upstairs were Harry and Carl, and I picked it up. So that's what the The property is located in Jigo. The circle off of Route 9. And this is the road that takes you from Potts Junction to the Anderson main gate. Santa Benavente Church is in the circle. And just to the right of this is Machinano Elementary School. The subject lot is in that square. And it's our frontage on Uppercut Street. So there are two structures on the property. What's shown on this map is the existing one-story concrete house, which is the subject of the variance, setback variance application. The two-car garage is compliant, and that's referred to as building B. The main structure is referred to as building A. So we'll get into it on the next slide. The front setback required is 15. The existing setback is 13.5. The request is for 1.5 foot variance. And the left side, the required setbacks for sides are 8 feet. What we have here on the left side of the building is only 4 feet. On the right side, it's 7 feet. So the request is for a 4 foot variance on the left side and a 1 foot variance on the right side. The rear variance should be, the rear requirement for setback should be 10 or is 10. But the existing building is only 3.5 feet away from the property. So the request is for a setback variance of 6.5 feet on the rear yard. This is an existing building, and I think it was built back in 1988. Really old building. I'll just get into some of the pictures that we have here. This is a picture of the left side of the building, showing it being 4 feet away. On the front part, the building actually kind of angles. It's not a straight. It's not parallel to the property line. On the back side is 7 feet, and the front side is 4 feet instead of 8. You notice the awning is within the property line. The roof line within the property. Taken to the neighbors. Next slide. Setback is viewed from the rear looking to the front, going on this, and back side of the property looking forward to the street. Setback 7 feet on the back end of the building, 4 feet on the front end. Next slide, please. This is the structure has been modified. From what I understand, when the application first came in, it was 2 structures. The main building on the left is an existing concrete building, and this is referred to as building A. Next slide. And like the upper title says, structure B, that this is it appears to be to me like a duplex originally, but the building was modified and converted to 2-car garage storage. So it is what appeared previously to be a single-family concrete house and a duplex with a semi-concrete with a tin roof. It's now a single-family concrete house with 2-car garage and storage. They renovated. Next slide, please. These are just some more pictures of of the surrounding area of the property. It is, the building is back, I don't want to say abandoned, it's owned by somebody, but it's almost covered with jungle on the back. Next slide, please. Yeah. Same thing. This is the rear of the building. The lot behind is a vacant lot. It's a moving lot. There's no structures on it. So on the left, 2/3 of this slide is the adjacent lot to the back. And it's all undeveloped. And this just shows you the existing main building. It's compared to the property line in the back, it's a 3.5 foot setback. Next slide. This is just to show that the roof line is within the property. It is not encroached on the property. The red line is anticipated property line. Next slide, please. So considerations are that the previous owners, Mr. and Mrs. Villalobos, they were the previous owners, and then this property was subsequently acquired by Mr. and Mrs. Sanchez. They did not build the structure, but they purchased the structure with the intent of fixing it up and making it a legal structure with a variance and allow it to continue to be used for residents. And from what I understand, it was even purchased from USDA financing. But we don't know how the building was built. 3 feet from the property line, and 7 and 4 feet from the left side back, and 3 feet from the back. So that's what's there now. The intention is to fix up the building, allow it to be used. Next slide. The structure is located entirely within the boundaries. Roof overhangs will not encroach, and the water runoff is contained on site. Is there another slide? The garage is compliant. The main building is not, and that's why. Another slide.
Thank you very much, Mr. Benavente. That's quite a project. I'm going to turn it over to my colleagues to see if they have any questions. Yeah, I'll reserve comment, but any questions from my colleagues? So which came first, building A or building B? Based on the presentation, which came first, A or B? There's the parking garage and the storage. Did that come after the home?
I would think that the home was built first.
So it appears, based on what you just mentioned, that the home is what's not in compliance, but the extension are the garage and the storage. And so my next question is, would it be more from a renovation standpoint, would it be more cost effective to renovate, to make that first building in compliance, or right? So I'm asking that question because it's obvious this needs major renovation. So have the new owners considered what it would take to make the initial structure in compliance as they're renovating versus move forward with what they have? Because it's still going to cost quite a bit of money with the high cost of construction to renovate. Have they entertained that?
Can you show the slide with the site plan? Yes, sir. See, the existing 1-story concrete house is the main structure.
Right.
The front portion of that is 4 feet from the property line, and the rear portion is 7 feet, and the whole back portion of the building is 4 feet, 3.5 from the property. To bring this building into straight out compliance would require cutting the building.
Right.
They have not entertained that. The option they took was to um, apply for variance and come into compliance by filing there.
Is any of the adjoining property for sale? Just a question.
Good question. Oh, any other questions? Any questions? Okay.
Madam
Yes.
Chair, I just have a cheap plan. This is a 2022 application. It's about 3 years old. What they did wrong for years. This is when previous administration, previous mayor's administration, when it first came in, right?
Yeah, I believe the delay was that we were not able to get a PC resolution that complied with the open government law rules, and therefore we didn't want to bring the resolutions before the commission because any action taken by the commission could be voided because that element of this process wasn't adhered to. So we worked. The previous mayor just I guess they've made several attempts. They weren't successful. And then when the new mayor came on board, she came in and finally had that municipal public hearing, the hearings that were required, and then they were able to come up with a resolution that meets all of the requirements of law.
Thank you very much. If there are no other questions, I now like to turn it over to Chief Planner Cruz for staff's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is the staff report dated June 4th, 2025. The subject site is located in Agapagumas and is approximately 2,100 feet from the junction of Apaca Avenue and Route 9, and the lot area is 9,926 square feet. The site is developed with the existing single-family residential structure and a detached garage and storage structure with chain link fence. The master plan designation is Village Center. Under the community design plan, the designation was urban residential low density. And there was no previous commission action. The application was accepted on November 23rd, 2022, heard by the ARC on December 15th, 2022, and a public hearing was held on May 2nd, 2023. On to staff analysis. Pursuant to section 61617 variance requirements of the zoning law, the applicant in response provides the variance, if granted, will not negatively impact adjacent or abutting properties, nor those properties within the immediate area, since the current use will remain as it has been in existence. The property will continue the same use as a single-family dwelling, and that the property is a part of a subdivision. The structure does not encroach onto any right-of-ways, nor any other properties abutting and or adjacent to it. The structure setback shortage just does not place the structure so that it affects any improvements such as water, power, sewer, or encroaches over property lines. The structure is entirely located within its own meets and bounds area. The building is connected to all public utilities, which mirrors all the other properties in the immediate areas. The use is in harmony with the other existing uses in the area, and that the granting of the variance will not change the planned use for the area. Based on the above, we find that the applicant has provided adequate justification in response to their request. With the exception of the Department of Public Works, who recommends disapproval of the requested variance, the other ARC position statements are with no objection. Additionally, there were no objections during the public hearing, and that as a result of the GHLUC MPC meetings held on April 9, 2025, resolution number 01-25 is in support of the zone variance and was adopted by the GHLUC MPC. Therefore, we have conducted that this request is in proper form and context to be considered favorably. Lastly, onto staff recommendation, we recommend approval with the following condition. Number 1, that the applicant shall adhere to all the ARC conditions and requirements as stipulated in their official position statement. Number 2, that there shall be no expansion to the existing building's footprint or vertical addition shall be allowed. And number 3, section 5 of Executive Order 96-26 shall not be applicable for the existing single-family residential structure, which is the 1-year timeline that's required to obtain a building permit or a clearing and grading permit. And this concludes the staff report.
Okay, thank you very much. To my colleagues, do you have any questions for staff? No. Okay. I do have a question. The property is within the housing subdivision, and so I could understand perhaps DPW's concerns of deviating and the possibility of setting a precedent and so forth, but how far is this from the main street or road to which DPW would have a concern?
If you go back to the site plan, it's 13.5 feet.
13.
What's the
13
distance
Just the
from
right of
the,
way, yes.
from the town?
The junction, it's
2100
that was 900,
Yeah, fine.
On the main road?
from the main, 2100. Oh,
2100 feet.
Yeah, it's basically about 1,000
It's
feet away
like
from the
2
main road.
blocks.
And I noticed the
Which is
chain
Route
link,
9.
right, the chain link fence is around the entire property, correct?
I believe that's still
Yes.
there. Yes.
Okay. I just-
Could I,
Sure.
you know, on the position statement, the main concern with Public Works that basically, they took the position of not proving it is that they noted that there's irregularities on the alignment of the property lines and the actual structures. The application does have a certification by a registered surveyor that proves that wrong. Basically, he's certifying that this is the alignment of the property and this is the alignment of the building, and these are the correct setbacks. Okay. The other issue is, you know, they allude to the, I guess, fault of the inspectors, and they went out there and inspected. Well, you know, which is at the time, I would say at the time that building was built, there was no provision within Public Works to require that the homeowner or the contractor have a surveyor certify where their property line is. A lot of times, you know, homeowners will say, well, it's a coconut tree, right? And it just happens that that coconut tree is a product of the original coconut tree that fell down and moved 10 feet this way, right? So, or the homeowner will just go out there with a rebar and say, this is my property line. At this point, at this time, ever since, you know, the coordination with land management and the other agencies, Public Works does have now a requirement that whenever a structure is built, that the contractor has the surveyor certify where those property line is. That's one of the problems. It's what their concern is in reference to the alignment, which is, you know, certified by a surveyor, and the fault of the or, you know, the inspection of that. Am I getting this on the nail?
Yeah.
So, and, you know, we just to go back again, because Mr. Benavente is actually the second applicant representative. We had issues, you know, trying to figure out what, you know, there was a lot of miscalculation, you know, misinterpretation, and that also contributed into the, you know, the application being so, you know, the application having such a lengthy time getting to the commission. Am I right?
Thank you.
I understand the fear of precedents.
Of course, but I will add to that the concern about precedents, but I also recognize that the original structure, was built with the understanding that everything, all requirements were satisfied. And as such, I'd like to, I'd like to assert that we grandfather that in because it would cause an undue financial burden on the buyers I mean, hence we would say buyer beware, but in this particular case, there were no red flags raised, and the original structure A had satisfied previous requirements and the property in its entirety with new owners and the intent to be recognized as, you know, satisfying compliance, the legal requirements, understandably needing to come through the Guam Land Use Commission in order to get the approval on the setback and rezone variance. So, given that that satisfies my concern. Thank you. I now open up for public comment to see if there are any comments from the public. I don't see any, so I'll go ahead and close this section of public comment, take it back to my colleagues to see if you have any other concerns, questions. There being none, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion for action on item B, application number 2022-37.
I have a motion to approve application number 2022-37 based on the staff report dated June 4, 2025. The recommendations dated June 4, 2025.
Thank you, Commissioner Flores, and a motion for action on the floor. Do I hear a second?
I'll second, as I'm a grandfather, so. I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Yingling. Any further discussion on the motion? There being none, all in favor of approving the motion to approve application number 2022-37, please signify by saying aye and raising your right hand. The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Motion carries. Application approved. Thank you very much. Congratulations, Mr.
Thank you very much.
Benavente, and good luck. Good luck, Nate. Good luck.
There's some real work there.
Yes. Okay. Next item on the agenda, item 5, administrative and miscellaneous matters. We do have an item AB, One Pat International Airport Authority, the noise compatibility planning study. I'd like to turn the floor over to our executive secretary, Chief Planner.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. On several occasions from time to time, the department and actually the commission is requested for some input on certain issues. In this case, it's a noise compatibility planning study conducted by an airport consultant. And land management has been attempting those, but it may come a time now that there's 4 commissioners and hopefully 5, and it may be 2 or 3 weeks, that the tone of the commission be set by the commissioners themselves on these requests. For example, would the commission like to receive the bills, land bills, as they are introduced at the legislature, sent to you individually, and then maybe bring it up at the commission for a commission testimony, for example. I know that you've been invited down for testimony, but you always defer to the entire commission like that. So that's, so you might want to set the direction on that. And in addition to those bills that are being introduced, we also have studies that are being referred to us for comments on land management, and in some cases actually to the zoning authority, the Land Use Commission. So the chief planner has been attending these noise compatibility studies, and the permission of Commissioner Yingling's prior service at the airport. We thought that this would be a good issue to bring up. I remember well. So Selena.
I do have a commission brief prepared on June 11, 2025. The Guam International Airport Authority is in the middle of its Part 150 Noise Compatibility Planning Study. This is a federally guided process aimed at identifying ways to reduce the impact of aircraft noise and promote compatible land use around the airport. As the agency with jurisdiction over land use planning and zoning enforcement in Guam, the Department of Land Management has been engaged as a stakeholder in the study's development. Our input is reflected in several areas with particular relevance to the land use rezoning support strategy outlined on page 24 of the slide deck. The strategy proposes that GIA may issue letters of support when rezoning efforts aim to convert land from non-compatible uses to compatible uses within airport noise exposure areas, and conversely, letters of opposition. This approach is intended to support local planning authorities, including DLM and the GHLUC, by offering technical justification that aligns with federal noise compatibility objectives. We're providing this information to support ongoing coordination with the Guam Land Use Commission, recognizing the important role the Commission plays in guiding responsible development across the island. Any input received will be shared with GIA and their consultant team as part of the broader stakeholder engagement process for the noise compatibility study. And that concludes the report.
Thank you very much. I understand this is for information purposes. Thank you very much. I do want to bring up that regularly I will receive, as well as members on the commission, or just myself directly, a request from the Guam legislature by an oversight chair for a respective committee to provide testimony on anything with regard to land use. And I've always taken the position to forward it to the department for review, and also basically defer to your expertise, and in order to determine if a response or testimony will be provided. I also understand that I, as chairperson, cannot solely provide testimony on my own, particularly if it's representing the commission itself, without some kind of dialogue or deliberation with my colleagues on the commission. And respecting the open government law that we cannot meet on commission business unless we follow open government law with regard to announcing and placing it on the agenda of a regular meeting of the commission. And so anytime there's a request and there's a need for expedient respond, I respectfully do not respond, but rather defer to our executive secretary, who's also director of the Department of Land Management. And so that's been the position I've taken, unless my colleagues feel that we should do otherwise. But that's the position I've always taken, and I didn't know if there was any counter view with regard to the position that I'm taking.
And Madam Chair, I do the same with the legal counsel. We have some bills that are really legal interpretation of like that, and bills like that, I basically refer to legal counsel to do the testimony. It should be lawyers testifying on that. So we do that here within the staff also, and we're glad that they do that for legal counsel.
Thank you. And my understanding of our role is to review and entertain items placed on the agenda that comes directly from the department, but not to make laws or amend laws, but rather act on applications that come through, and to also hear information that is germane to the purpose of the commission, unless something has changed in the law, but that has always been my understanding, unless it's the wrong interpretation. Attorney Miller.
No, excuse me, not at all. You're any member of the commission is free to testify to the legislature and expressing their own views, and so long as you prudently begin your testimony by indicating this is your view and not the view of the commission as a whole, have at it. But in order to present a view of the body requires consideration and a vote of the body.
Thank you. Thank you for that clarification. Okay, thank you very much. Let's see. The next item on the agenda is the election of vice chairperson for the Guam Land Use Commission.
I
And
just want to comment on the 150 study. This could have a major impact on this area. And I do hope that Joe Worrell will take a serious look at that. Because like, remember when I was in the airport, we had to actually buy a building, buy a business and demolish the house. So I'm seeing that the footprint on this 150 is expanded. And that's significant. And that is going to be a possible significant impact for the land management and the GHLUC. That's all, just a simple.
But as well, though, you know, this program, sometimes the contour study evolves into a program that provides funds for insulating.
Exactly, yeah, and that's, yeah, for the peaceful living on Guam, it's, it's significant.
In line, Madam Chair, with the board permission as a concept, I'd like to request that the election of the vice chair be postponed until the full complement of 4 commissioners, as maybe 5 by the time we vote. It is critical so that you can take some time off of your day job, but I'd like to request that the commission postpone that until we get at least 1 more commission.
Thank
Is that a motion?
That's,
It's an administrative miscellaneous matters. We entertain any action under this particular category, not necessarily. We'll just go ahead and table this until such time as we have additional members present. Okay. So do we know when the next meeting is?
It would be tentatively June 26th. We're potentially tracking 1 application, but yeah, will do a call out for availability of the commission members for that particular meeting.
Very good. Thank you very much. If there is no further business for the commission, I will entertain a motion for adjournment. Okay, motion made by Commissioner England, seconded by Commissioner Ford. All in favor of adjournment, please signify by saying aye. Aye. It's unanimous. Thank you very much. The meeting is adjourned and is currently 2:57 on the clock. Thank you very much, Ms. Mossy. Thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you everyone for your amazing work.
And again, as I stated at my confirmation, staff does an excellent job in giving us information.
Absolutely. A lot of work. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.